Lizard spiritual meaning is about resilience, to keep going, keep showing up, and pressing on, faithfully following the flow. It represents healing and growth, opportunity for new beginnings. It's about shedding old habits and behaviors that no longer serve you, like we talked about the growing pains, right? Letting those go. Letting go, finally, of what doesn't serve you. And that's where the pain comes in, right? Because it's so challenging to break that habit, right? And to become the version of yourself that isn't sabotaging yourself all the time, right? So that is this transformation symbolism from the lizard. Breaking cycles and fresh perspectives. We talked about every single one of these so far in the message and how it correlates to the wonderment and awe of this new beginning, and seeing it as though you are seeing it through the eyes of a child now, because it's a new beginning. It's a symbol of your fear and anxiety. It represents fears about facing change. And this is literally our surrender card, is fear. It's about knowing that this setback, whatever perceived setback, right? It's being mindful of the words here. Whatever perceived setback where you find yourself, it's only temporary, because here's the thing, whatever you might consider it a setback, goddess, it's actually all part of the journey. It's only in your mind, in your ego mind, that you're like, oh, it's a setback, but really actually from the soul perspective, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. There is no setback. You're right on time. You see that? You're right on time. So when you can really allow yourself to focus where that power is, where you do have power, not on that it's a setback, that's what's going to shift you out of that fear space and just allow you to be more present and be more anchored in the knowing that I am where I am and I am exactly where I am supposed to be. Because if I were supposed to be anywhere other than where I am, I would be. Write that down. All right. And there's an exciting opportunity ahead. That's the lizard messenger. Well, of course there's an exciting opportunity ahead. You're a whole new you. You have a whole new world to experience from a whole new perspective, in a whole new energetic space, in a whole new, well, kind of for the lizard in some ways, right? It's that whole new body, right? You're in a whole new body. You have changed down to your very energetic core, to your cellular core. You're different. That's what this transformation is. And so we had talked about in this Super Sign Sunday about very much this inner child healing, being at the space where it's integrating, right, that inner child more, and at this point allowing that part of you to step forward and be present now more than ever with this new beginning space, because it carries a message meant to help us remember that as children of nature. And we had so much nature, from honeybees to the lizards to the geckos. We were talking about, there was something else, the rabbits, that we took a little journey right through the forest a bit into through the meadow. It's like the open space of the meadow, right? And made our way to the creek. It was such a surprise little adventure, wasn't it? But the lizard is carrying this message meant to help us remember that as children of nature, we possess the magic within ourselves needed to live free and happy. And literally another channeled aspect from the Super Sign Sunday message is about being free, right? Because I am going to publish this lizard spiritual meeting clip separate, as well as attached to the divine feminine message here at the end. The lizard is also about reminding you that you have the power to regenerate anything that you've lost. It may come in a different form, right? In a different form, but you have the power to create something new that fulfills the same purpose, perchance better than before, right? Definitely in a different way than before, but that's what you're here for, to experience all that is this experience, to embrace it all with wonderment and awe. And then, of course, with lizards having that power to regenerate anything they feel they've lost, that's like magic, right? That's like magic. Again, reminding us of the magic that we possess. That is this gift of the lizard today. That's why that's the animal messenger out of all of the ones that we really had to, say, okay, what are you talking about? Right? And just as it is, it's just the sweetest surprise and delight right now of reading this, going, oh my goodness. And the lizard is an adapter, a fighter. Giving up is never an option. Look at the strength training that you have in the space of these growing pains, literally as a lizard, right? When you're referencing the spiritual journey, the self-love empowerment journey, to that of a lizard, of you shedding old and stepping into new. You've been doing it your whole life. It's just you really start to recognize it and notice it when you get older, because you've gotten farther and farther out of that state of magic, of wonderment and awe. So you instead are more in an energetic state of heaviness, of stress, of amplifying fear rather than amplifying fun, right? And that's why we must be tapping into our inner child, is because we've got to be having this fun in order to further facilitate the ease of these growing pains, because they're going to happen. Just like children, right? We can watch as adults, we can see the growing pains that children go through when they are literally physically growing. Crying just because their body is growing, and there's nothing, they didn't get hurt or anything. They're just growing, a growth spurt, right? Hurting just for that. And that's what this is. In order to get to where you need to go in terms of your growth and expansion, you have to grow. You have to grow through it, which means you have to go through it. All right? But giving up, never an option. And you know how to handle the lizard energy represents knowing how to handle oneself in challenging situations. And that's what you are cultivating for yourself more and more is in these challenging situations, especially when it's the unknown, right? It is the unknown. When you can begin to keep this balance, keep your wits about you, so to speak, in whatever is coming at you, whatever is happening, then you have won. I'm hearing in the background of my mind, I don't know the whole poem, of course, but If by Rudyard Kipling. If by Rudyard Kipling. I will write that in the description for all of you. I'm hearing that, right? That if you can keep yourself, this is the overall summary of the message of that poem. It's from a father to a son. And if you can keep your wits about you, if you can keep your inner balance, your state of stability and strength about you, then whatever happens about outside of you, let it. It does not affect you. It does not have power over you. And you then are the one who, quote, wins by way of being fully empowered, being in your power, no longer at the mercy of what may be outside of you. That's what a challenge is, goddess. An opportunity for growth. Redefine some of the words that you use to be more empowering, and you will find that you feel more empowered.